Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, your host and favorite author, Ellis, and we are here with another episode of The Block. Before I get into today's topic, I have two beautiful in-studio guests that I would like them to take a couple of seconds and tell us a little bit about who we're speaking to today. And as, of course, the order of business, ladies first.
Yes. So my name is Takia Mason. I am a local Atlanta artist here. I am a singer, musician, songwriter, and I lead a band called the Band of Angels.
They're amazing.
Yes, thank you. And the whole goal for our music is to just create experiences of love, peace, and unity, to inspire people to come together. And my prayer is that you don't leave the same, okay?
Yes.
So hopefully you're uplifted, and we was able to, plant some joy into your heart.
Oh, and we will definitely drop information on Takia in the show notes because you all have to keep up with the band. They are amazing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here at the block. All right, sir. Who are you?
Hello. Thank you. My name is Montez Cornelius.
Montez, welcome.
I live here in Atlanta, transplant from Seattle, Washington. I claim Seattle, Washington, just to keep it simple. But now living here in Atlanta, Georgia for the last 7 years.
All right. What you doing here in Atlanta, Georgia? Just being on the block?
Entrepreneur. Got a lot of things going on. But more recently, I've decided to stick my toes in the water of real estate.
All righty.
Real estate. So I buy distressed properties and fix them up and try to help out the community by fixing houses up and helping those in need of high quality living.
I love it. And so does it sound like you're trying? It sounds like you are accomplishing that. So thank you.
Yes, it does.
Welcome to the block. So I'm gonna jump right in today's topic. So relationships. And the topic for today is the public effects of our private agreements. And I'll go into detail because that could throw you off. Like, what is this lady talking about? Where is this going? So, in relationships, whether it's intimate, family, business, friends, whether those friends are with benefits or platonic, right? We make agreements. We enter into these covenants or agreements all the time. Some we verbalize, a declaration. I'll never mess with anyone like you ever again, or no one will ever treat me like that ever again, as you're in an argument. Or they could be private agreements with ourselves. A lot of times, these things, or more often than not, our agreements are implied or assumed. How you start dating for 6 months, all of a sudden you assume you're exclusive, but it hasn't been spoken.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to give a lot of examples so we all are on the same page.
Okay.
If you don't mind, I would love to share a story with you all, just in case there's anyone out there who are not actually sure still what I mean by agreements with ourselves or with others. I recently read this. Is that okay?
Yes.
Perfect. I recently read this story about a young lady. Well, she's a middle-aged lady now. But when she was younger, her stepfather sexually pursued her. And obviously this was terrifying and it distorted her because yuck, right?
Yeah.
So to lessen or to stop him from his advancements, she entered into agreement with him as a kid because this was in her preteens.
Wow.
She said, let's make a deal. If you leave me alone now, when I turn 25, if you still want me, I will marry you. So, what a heck of an agreement, right?
Yeah.
So, to her surprise, it worked. So he backed off. Years went on, and her stepfather and her mother divorced, but he still kept in contact with her. Duh, right? But as anyone who was a victim of sexual abuse, harassment, or advancements, she repressed those memories of her stepfather's sexual advances. And she lived her life, and throughout her dating life, she found herself at 24, being proposed to by a gentleman that she dated but did not love. And she hastily accepted his proposal, and they were married. Right before, can you guess when?
Yes.
When?
Right before her stepfather was.
Right before, right before her 25th birthday. So throughout the marriage, she didn't speak about how the marriage was, but later in life they did divorce, and she found herself in therapy. And remember, she had repressed all of those memories, and it was brought up to her. She remembered in therapy. She had an aha moment that she married this man that she never loved to avoid fulfilling this agreement with her stepfather years earlier. Can you imagine? So her entire life up until this point was to avoid marrying her stepfather, but in essence she ended up still marrying somebody that she didn't love, so she was missing out, right? She still kind of almost abused herself, forcing herself to be in something that she shouldn't be, right? And the gentleman, because he was an innocent victim, he loved her, he asked her to marry him, right? So my question today is, where in your life, and we're going to focus this first round on agreements with others, whether they were spoken, assumed, or implied. Where have agreements affected your life? Where have they showed up, dictated your actions, your decisions, your intentions? You care to share? Anything pops up for you all? And you all can choose who goes. Just jump right in. Not the eye contact, y'all are so crazy. Go ahead.
The first thing that comes to my mind, honestly, when you say that, I mean, because you're speaking about relationships, so of course my mind is going to a relationship. Definitely, I was in a relationship where, thought I was in, what do you call those? Is it when you think you're in a relationship, but you ain't really in a relationship? It's just we doing everything that, people do in a relationship.
Yes. Y'all dating.
Yeah, we're
it's not exclusive.
We're dating, but it's like
boyfriend and girlfriend.
You want me to be exclusive. You want me to, and it's like maybe it's the unspoken one where it's like we haven't really.
It was implied.
It was implied
that you should be faithful.
Yes, that I should be faithful, and it's like I think because I grew up without my father, and so I feel like sometimes when you do that, you can go look for that
fill that void.
Yeah, fill that void with someone else. So it's like, well, you're just doing all the other things, but we don't have the title, and you're taking care of me, and you're all that. But of course, we are not together. We are not together, but I feel like I learned a lot about myself in that relationship. Though I feel like. Yes, I learned about, something that was implied, but it wasn't like, he could never make a verbal agreement. And that was the thing. It's like, but then you want me to be here and you want me to do all these different things, but we can't do a verbal agreement. Why is that? And so
we're going through the motions, but no commitment.
No commitment.
So what is that? Okay, I'm gonna go deeper with you.
Yeah, let's go deeper.
So that's your takeaway on the surface, that I'm in this relationship that I think fills the void for not having my father there. And I'll take it whether we're exclusive, whether we're fiance or boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife. But that's not the real agreement. What, if you thought about it, what agreement did you really make with yourself that allowed that person to even enter your space?
What agreement did I make? I feel like because that was a season where I didn't really know who I was, so I was just like, maybe the agreement was, this is enough for me, or like he's there, he's doing all these things, and we'll grow to this, and I'm gonna wait this out. I'm gonna be the down chick and all that, and we'll grow to that.
Your agreement could have been, I will accept anyone that shows up and stays, because there was an absence. I don't want to say the word anyone.
I wouldn't say anyone,
but I
because
will, if you stay and show up.
But I think it was the fact that it was a familiar situation. So it already felt like somewhat family and all of that. So it's like,
so you all had history.
Yes.
Okay.
So we had history. So I feel like similar to what you're saying, but not just anyone.
let me ask you this. So because you have a relationship with your dad now.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
in your mind, when you were longing for the relationship with your dad, were you saying, did you have prerequisites for him to get back in your heart? Or was it that if he showed up, you would just give him all of you?
I feel like if he showed up, I would just give him all of me. Yeah.
Do you feel that how that may have showed up in your relationships, that you
Yeah.
made this agreement?
Yeah,
If you know,
absolutely.
there's no like prerequisites. You get me. If you agree to be here, regardless of what that kind of looks like,
Just be here.
be here.
You know, and like I said, I feel like I learned a lot about myself in that relationship, and really growing and evolving. And of course, I have a relationship with my father now. I was a teenager then or whatever, but you know, I don't know, like I'm not seeking that. I'm not seeking my father, I guess, more so than anything. But I hope that goes a long way forward.
No, it absolutely does. It absolutely does.
Definitely.
It absolutely does.
Well,
What I
yeah,
take away
so-
from it is, like you said, because that's the first thing that came to your mind. This relationship that I existed in, I didn't. This person didn't commit to me, but I allowed them to stay in my space because they were there.
They were there.
And if you therapists would tell me to do a deep search, and you will identify other areas in life where that is being allowed.
Yeah.
You know. But we'll return to that. That is some good way to
Look.
kick it off.
Yes.
All right, sir.
Well, first of all, I have to say that the example that you gave was really, really deep, and it had so many different layers to it. And as I hear you both speak, man, it confuses me even more. I don't know which direction I really need to come from, but I'm going to, at the last second, decide to stay on a lighter, positive side.
No, go deeper. You may really change somebody's life if you go ahead and that thing that bubbled up for you.
Well, I come from really, really humble beginnings. For those that are interested in getting to know me, I share my life story. Not with everyone, but for certain reasons. But I grew up originally in Ohio. Like I said, humble beginnings. Really, really poor. I grew up in the system. To the point where I was actually put up for adoption. And I consider myself blessed because I've had so many people to try to help me out, whether it was through group homes, foster homes. I feel like that always, poured a little bit more into me for certain reasons, because you hear about a lot of the sad stories, where people were not receptive, or they're really hurt by going through the system.
Right.
Put up for adoption, but I was put up for adoption, and actually it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me in my life as I got older, and I realized no matter how poor you are, no kid wants to be torn away from their parents, from what they know.
Right.
No matter how poor, you don't know you're poor.
Right.
So I actually went from Ohio to Seattle, Washington. And when they came to me and told me that there were, and I was actually adopted at a later age than what my siblings were. I'm the oldest of 5. And they told me that a bunch of people were all of a sudden interested in adopting me. All of a sudden.
Wow. Okay.
At a late age. And there's this one particular family in Seattle, Washington. It's a man who has a lot of kids, and his profession is that he can't get married. Do you know what profession that is that can't get married?
I don't know, is he a priest or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think, but he ended up being a priest, and in the back of my mind, I knew my 2 sisters were there, so I'm like, you know what? I'm getting put up for adoption anyway. They don't want me here in Ohio, so one of the agreements to my mom at the time was, I'm coming back and I'm going to keep us together. So I headed out west to a place that I've never heard of, Seattle, Washington. I didn't know where it was on the map. All I knew in the back of my mind is that my 2 sisters were there. But I'm not going to be long-winded, but throughout my journey, you know, with those that tried to help me, I always said that I would never forget. And they would always tell me that I had some type of talent and not to waste them. Mm-hmm. And so my mom passed away and my dad passed away. And so my commitment, you know, I always feel like they're looking down on me. Mm-hmm. And so whenever I'm in the middle of making a decision, and we all, I don't care who you are, no matter how much of a saint you are, we can easily make the wrong decision. You know, quickly make the wrong decision, or, you know, we always do the best we can to make the right decision. But I always feel like my parents are looking at me. My adopted parent, dad, who's the only dad I've ever known, and my biological mom, who I went back and found later on in life. So I have two close families. And so my commitment and agreement to them is that I'm going to be the best that I can be, and you know, just try to make them proud, give back to society, and you know, just all those people that poured into me, to not let that go in vain.
I love it.
I love that.
I do love it. I heard a couple of agreements there, because it sounded like you were placed for adoption, you relocated to Seattle. Your agreement with your mom is that you always keep the family together. And I'm assuming, without filling in the gaps, that it had to be some sort of situation where you all had to be taken from the house. But you all still had love, your parents still had love for you, but maybe just the circumstances just didn't align for you all to stay under the same roof. And you made that commitment, because I recall when I first met you, you talked about finding your family.
Yes.
And still now you have a relationship with both sides of your family. Yes. So you honored your commitment. And I'm sure throughout your life you were intentional.
Yes.
On one, making the person who chose you proud, that you wouldn't waste being selected.
Yes.
And that you would keep the family together.
And a lot of that was, whether it was intentional or innate, a lot of times I didn't realize that, you know, I was doing it innately. Mm-hmm. What's crazy is, at the time of the three, my mom went on to have two more siblings after we were adopted.
Okay.
But of the three, we were all adopted. No, actually four of us. My two sisters in Seattle, my brother, two different families, my brother in New York, and I was in Seattle with a separate family. And can you believe we all ended up together in the same household, even though they were adopted?
Wait, what?
That's how God is.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
No, did you hear what I said?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
We still ended up, that's how powerful, I try to get people to understand how powerful your thoughts.
Yes.
Absolutely. And your words.
Your words.
Yes.
Man, thank you.
The way you walk, the way you talk.
Yes.
They were adopted first.
Wow.
All of us in different households, spread out throughout the country. And we all still ended up in the same household, grew up together with the same last name, the same father. But that's just a testament how good that man is.
Oh my God, that is actually really beautiful.
Powerful, actually.
Oh my goodness, that is beautiful. And I really appreciate you going deep and sharing that story, because you do have the other stories, the flip side, where people could have took that and felt abandoned, broken, angry, and you were just like, you know what?
I see that so much.
Why? How is that going to benefit me or anybody else? I'm just going to choose to do better.
Yes.
I'm going to look at the opportunity in the situation, and I appreciate that. And then you're out here, based on our previous conversation too, everything that you do is like an act of service. So you are still, do you notice or do you feel how you're still honoring your covenant with yourself, right?
Sure.
So thank you for that.
Well, thank you
Look
for
at
listening. Thank you for
y'all can do Mediterranean over here. I love it.
You brought it out of me. You know, that's just how good you are. You brought it out.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
had no idea what I was going to say.
Thank you.
Just speaking the truth.
We're going to make a slight transition from our commitment with others and our agreements. And I want you to really focus on the commitments and agreements you've made with yourself. And I will give an example. I shared this one with you on yesterday. When I was in high school, my high school sweetheart, we dated 9th grade through 10th grade. Then we broke up, got back together in the 12th grade. And that was my boo. He just wasn't unbeknownst to me, truthful when we got back together. And it caused me a lot of duress, embarrassment, public humiliation at for his choices. And it was just not a good time based on a lie. He was still seeing the young lady that he had started seeing when we broke up, and he was still seeing her. And she was a very aggressive person. So there were, being jumped, fights, all type of, just harassed in high school because of this person. And he still denied it. And then one day I actually caught them together with my friends. So humiliations that I'm with my friends and I see you with this person. And I remember, how old was I? I had to be 17. I remember standing in the middle of the street because, I was going St. Louis on them ham and cheese. I was mad. I remember making that commitment to myself as soon as I got back in the car after the drama had subsided, that I would never be faithful or trust a person in a relationship again. And shout out to me. I upheld that promise for more than 20 years, Wow. It's just, and it was like a quick declaration to myself. As a kid, why at 17 would I make such a decision? But I mean, it was in the heat of the moment, the adrenaline, the passion, like, I'm done. I'm never going to be on this side of this feeling ever again. Yes. And I realized how that covenant with myself had me make choices of who I dated, who I went out with, and just really dating with no intentions. Because if you have intention, you have to be a little vulnerable. You have to be, you know what I'm saying? But if you could date surface based on looks, financial support, and fun, etc., who cares, right? But that didn't serve me. It doesn't serve me, because at some point you want someone to grow with you and witness your life, right? Instead of having a plethora of unfulfilled. Not saying I didn't have connections with these people. I just didn't have intentions because I couldn't allow myself to get that close. Foolishly. And thank God later on in life I came across a life class and went to therapy, and I was made aware of how I was being in the world. We didn't say the words because of these agreements, but that's what it was. So we go through life and we say things like, I don't trust people, or I'm not cool with commitments. It's just a wall that you put up because you're trying to protect the agreement that you made with yourself. When I say you, I mean me. And how it affected me was just turning down proposals, not being able to really enjoy and be fully present in a relationship. And how you get past that is, first of all, acknowledge it, and then forgive yourself for what could have been or what was lost because of your decisions, your actions based on honoring that agreement. And we'll go forward after you all share, if you have something to share, on how to get past that once you acknowledge that agreement that you made with yourself has not served you quite as well as the previous agreements that we may have made. I saw him like this.
Look, I saw him too. All right, what you got? I feel like, well, based on what you were saying in regards to the agreement that you've made to yourself, one that I'm very proud that I made to myself in the area of dating is to date myself. Date myself, and not only myself, date God. Because one, dating myself allowed me to get to know me, what I want, what are my boundaries, and also like what makes me laugh, what makes me light up, what makes me, so I can begin to emanate those things more. Right. But then also, who does God say I am? What does God, a lot of times we have this picture of what we feel like we deserve, and I've seen like these memes and things where it's like this small, like a small bouquet of flower where God wants to give you the world,
right?
And like He wants us to expand our vision and our vision of ourselves. And so I feel like that's a commitment that I made to myself, and it has blessed me tremendously. It's brought like amazing healing in the area, because I feel like the dating experience definitely changed.
Yes.
It definitely changed because I feel like once you know who you are and you love yourself more than anything, love yourself, and like you said, forgive yourself.
Yes.
For, maybe some of the bad agreements and things that you've made to yourself that you realize, okay, maybe I shouldn't have this agreement. I feel like I've been able to just evolve into a better space, one, and also just attract better
a different energy.
Yeah, just a different energy.
Because
you're emanating more of your godlike too. So.
I love it. I love it.
I do.
And we just watch you evolve from the first example of the relationship that did not serve you to saying, I'm going to choose myself and listen to my higher power. My manufacturer would tell me how I'm supposed to run, correct?
Absolutely.
As opposed to listening to the world and all the distractions and social media saying, this is who you should be.
Yeah.
This is who you should be with. This is what life should look like for you, and then you'll be happy. I'm just going to read my manual, the Bible in this case, because my manufacturer gave me all the instructions.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah, and there's peace and tranquility that shows up for you. So I do appreciate you sharing that journey.
Oh, thank you.
You just saved somebody. Hello. It's not Sunday, but we preaching up in here.
Yes.
What about yourself?
Oh my goodness. Early on in life, when it came to my peers, I was not accepted. We all still got a long way to go. I'm speaking more specifically for myself, but I didn't look as polished as I do now, even though I don't think I am. But I had 3 rows of teeth, like a shark. My skin was bad. Partly because of puberty, but my voice was so high that anytime I answered the phone, people always thought that I was a female. I was really, really skinny. Everyone made fun of me because of how skinny I was. And I was really, really insecure, didn't wear shorts, never owned a pair of shorts. Just really felt inferior when it came to being out in society and being accepted. But as I got older, because of my adoption and things like that, got my teeth fixed, and after college, after having many failed jobs, and just always constantly beating myself down, I just decided at a point in my life that I was going to stop chasing all of these worldly things that society said made us, define who we are. For example, our jobs, the family, how much money you had, how much material you was able to collect. I just decided, probably about 15 years ago, just to concentrate on being happy and being healthy. Being happy and being healthy, and that has paid tremendous dividends, on my mental, on my health, and just being able to attract a certain spirit, certain people, certain friendships. And if you can't add to my spirit, if you can't add to my mental,
that part.
Then
Yes.
I tell people that I've never gotten rid of anyone. People get rid of themselves.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
People get rid of themselves.
Yes.
They do.
True.
And not good enough, or I'm too good. I can never was ever really able to find that
Sweet spot.
sweet spot.
So was that your agreement to yourself, that you were always chasing something, and at some point you just said, I am enough.
Yeah, I am.
I am enough, and
Yeah.
I'm exhausted with trying to fit in, because that's really what it sounded like you were trying to do. And it is human to want to be accepted, because we interact, we need each other for some type of interaction, support, and validation does feel good, and being accepted, and being outcast or bullied really, really is the opposite of being accepted. And it's one thing to not have a lot of friends, but it's another thing to be picked on And so just always trying to like find your footing in life.
Yes.
I'm glad you tipped over to the side to say, you know what, I'm just going to care a lot less. And I'm just live my life. Because at the end of the day, that's all I have.
Yes.
The things that I made people tell me I need to spend time accumulating and doing and working for, I can't take it with me anyway. So I'm going to focus on myself, a healthy me, and attracting healthy relationships. And I'm sure, as you said, you're better for it.
So real quick, I want to leave you with this. One of the things I discovered, like many of you said, you've gone through therapy. I've gone through many years of different types of therapy. But most of us, or society tells you that there are a few kind of people, and most people have heard and can identify with either the beta male or female or the alpha male or female. And I had this therapist that said, you know what, Montez, you are something that
You don't fall into either one of these.
You're a rare breed.
Okay.
You're a rare breed. And I come to find out, and I've done so much research, and come to find out that I'm really Sigma.
Okay.
I'm Sigma. So for a lot of, I'm not going to go into detail about that, but for anybody that's interested, and I don't let people know that about me, but I am so Sigma. So people believe in astrology and signs, and that has some validity, but to me, I never really got into that because it's so broad that, you know, it can be any one of us at any point in time. You know, so you can say, even though I'm a Libra, that's where my birthday falls, but, you know, I can look at some of the other things and, you know, that can be me as well.
Different characteristics, yeah.
But my counselor and therapist helped me to understand that I am Sigma, and I am 1,000% Sigma.
So he or she gave you your own place. Instead of having you try to fit into other people's lane, they put a word to it. Yeah, okay. We continuously do what we've always done, whether it works for us or not. Like support those agreements that don't serve us. And I know we all spoke about relationships, but I also want to challenge you to think about the relationship or the agreement you made about money, about wealth, about race, about sex. You know what I'm saying? About religion. In every category, we have made some spoken or implied agreement, and we are actually making decisions, and our actions are to reinforce those covenants that we made with ourselves. You ever heard somebody say, girl, I'm bad with money? Why would you say that?
Yeah.
So what you're doing is giving yourself a reason or excuse to always be broke. So when people say you don't have, so when people see you living less than what they expect, that's your excuse. Yes. I'm bad with money.
Always.
Or I'm always late. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or all men cheat.
Yes.
Or all women are gold diggers.
Attract all of that.
Right.
Yeah,
and I can't trust anyone, or I have to do it by myself. If I want something done right, I have to do it by myself. You literally will have some of the most educated people say these things.
Right.
Do you understand how different your life will look if we renegotiated these agreements?
Wow.
So how do we do that? The first thing is you have to sit with yourself and know what agreements you've made.
Yeah, the
conversations.
Yourself.
You gotta have the conversations. Like, get off of social media. Don't log out of this show yet, but I'm just saying once it's over. So self-awareness. When it comes to agreements, this is what I want everyone to do. If you would, this is just information. You can choose to do with it what you choose, right, viewers?
Right.
Review the agreements that you made with yourself or with someone else. You know, I'm gonna go back to like parenting. It's always easy. My dad was never around, so I vowed, you know, to never take a man serious. So I vowed that the man that I marry will be nothing like my dad, or the woman that I marry will be nothing like my mom. And then examine how has that showed up for you in your life. Wow, so this woman is the opposite of my mom. You know what I'm saying? I've always pursued women. Did I miss really the love of my life because I was trying to deflect anybody who had any similarities to my mom, right? Did I move to different states? Did I take on different jobs and careers just to make sure that I reinforced and put myself in circles that would expose women or men that were the opposite of my parents? and then allow yourself to rewrite those agreements. How can I make this healthy? Because we're going to always exist with agreements and covenants, right? Whether, like I said, spoken or implied. But how can we be aware of them, acknowledge them, and then renegotiate them? So, with you said you went to counseling. We all said some counseling. That's always a great start. One thing counseling does is it help you see who you're being in the world. Because counseling, a lot of people think about therapists as you're just sitting on the couch and you're just spilling out your problems. Actually, if you have a good therapist, they're giving you assignments. They're making you do the work so you come up with your own answers. Because we all know when someone tells us to do something, we kind of, we may half at it, or we may like, okay, I don't know. But if we believe we came up with a decision, we may be more excited to act upon it, because we may see where the trajectory. Okay, I can get some different results.
Yes.
So don't be scared of therapy. Don't be scared of counseling. Some of our agreements are to our detriment. Some of them they serve us. I will not be an unwed mother. I will live in wealth. I will own property. I will be of service. I will, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then of course, there are affirmations. And then you also, and good and bad agreements can exist within one person, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I want to be healthy and wealthy, but I also have this toxicity, these bad agreements that I've made about relationships and trusting people. I'm the same person. So all these things are coexisting. And sometimes when we feel like we have success in one area, it makes us ignore other areas that need work, right?
Yes.
But we don't understand how just putting in the work on those areas that need work will enhance the success in the areas where we are winning. But I'm sorry, you were about to say something.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
I'm just vibing with you. I'm like, yes.
Well, one of the things about counseling, and like you said, they will have you do the work. For example, you can tell me something, and I can repeat back to you exactly what you just told me, and tell you that you need to do this and you need to do that based on what you just told me. And because I told you to do it, you are going to put up some type of blockage to not receive, not hear, not accept.
Yeah.
But if you can get people to acknowledge what it is, so basically if I said it may or may not be true, but if I can get you to say it, then it's absolute.
Absolutely. Yeah, so absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So you just said
it's just like little kids. You just make them like, so what would be a better way of doing this? And you challenge them to think of a better way to do this, or a better way to say this, or how could you get a different result?
There you go.
And it's funny because there's no requirements to be a parent. Right? And a lot of times we're passing down our agreements and our bad behaviors to our kids. So it's not even their agreement, but they're living their lives based on passed down agreements. So if it's not worth it to do the work for you, please let it be worth it to do the work for future generations.
Yes.
Because we do pass those things along.
Yes. Whether we know it or not.
We're not using as much of our brain as we think we are. We're always tired, but it's not because we're using brain power.
Right.
So use it. Challenge yourself to grow and be different. And show up different for other people. It's going to spread. Just like negativity spread, so does positivity. So, is there any agreements today that we individually are trying to adjust? Me, I'm still working on the trusting thing. I'll be 100% transparent. That was a long-held agreement, so I
feel like if there's any type of agreement that I feel like I need a little more time to think about.
No problem.
Think about it, like one that I'm trying to hold right now still.
Or just could be, you don't have to let it go. Just how could you rewrite it? How could it show up
how
different?
Could I rewrite it?
How could you renegotiate something that's not serving you? That you have
trust issues, and especially in this day and time, with the way society's set up. I mean, it is hard. I mean, people are letting other people down left and right, the ones that are close to you. I mean, you can't find a good mechanic. You can't find, mechanics are going to get over on you. You can't find a good contractor.
Good customer service.
Good customer service. As bad, as much as you may want to be in a relationship, as much as you have worked on yourself and you put in the work, and you think that you're ready, and you open up your heart and your mind and your home to someone, and guess what? You meet someone that's not ready, and you know what? We all on some level, at some point in time, have trust issues. Mm-hmm. So constantly working on that, and just trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I know that has more to do with me than them, because everybody deserves a fair chance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm not trust is an earned thing for me.
There you go.
So it's I'll vibe with you, and we, but as far as letting you all the way in type of thing, and that type of trust, it's a thing that's earned. I have to know your character and feel you out kind of thing before. So I don't know if that would be my agreement to myself, but that's just been my experience in life, and like you said, for every reason, people are just kind of peopling.
I love it. People are out here peopling. You are absolutely correct. They are.
And you try to be positive and connect with people, because there are a lot of good people out here still, even in the midst of the wolves and things like that. But trust is a thing that I feel is earned for me, but I feel on the other flip side, there in the area of finances and money and things like that, because I'm a business owner too, and I think I'm constantly feel I gotta work. And if I don't do all this work, or sometimes I feel guilty for taking a break, and I'm is it because I've made this agreement to myself that if I don't do this work, then I'm not gonna get here, or I'm not gonna accomplish this goal. But also not feeling bad and giving myself the grace to know that, okay, the work, you also gotta, enjoy life. There's parts of life that you enjoy, but the work shouldn't consume you so much that, you feel bad for even just taking a break. Or I'm gonna go just have a self-care day, or, because that's important too. So I don't know what kind of agreement that would be with myself outside of just feeling I gotta work all the time.
Your agreement could be your relationship with money, and that you've saw it as transactional. That in order for for me to attract money, well, you probably feel maybe your agreement is I can't attract money. I have to go get money.
Yeah, maybe that is it.
Because money can come to us from all type of sources, and a lot of us do our agreements with how we view money blocks other opportunities for resources to flow into us, because we feel it's been demonstrated that you work hard, you get something in return. And we are seeing more and more that that's not necessarily the case, because people really are out here working smarter. That's why they got 75 different things. And in the human, just being a human being, no way one person can do 75 different jobs. But if you're putting stuff on autopilot and it's automated and all this stuff and it's delegated and all this, you can actually earn an abundance and receive money in your sleep. We never had this. I never had this conversation growing up that I could earn while I sleep. You know what I'm saying? Compound interest. Those words, we always thought that, hey, find a job, and basically you're trading time for money. So the agreement could be just, hey, money comes to me when I work for it. And how you can recreate that money is attracted to me, baby. It's gonna find me regardless.
It wants me.
It wants me.
I live by that.
Yeah. It works for you?
Every single time,
that's
man.
my takeaway.
Yes, I'm working on that one too.
If you haven't, and you probably have, but if you haven't seen the movie, more preferably the book, The Law of Attraction by Rhonda Byrne.
Okay.
If you watch the movie only once or twice, you haven't watched it at all.
Oh, wow.
Really?
You haven't watched it at all. If you only watch it once or twice,
okay.
And they even said it within the movie, your life would change before you even finish it the first time. Your life would change forever before you even finish it.
Mindset, baby. Mindset.
Boy, the mind.
It is.
It's such a powerful thing, right?
It is the most powerful.
Mind and words.
Yes. And so I'm always very skeptical of people who say they don't like to read. Well, like, so if you can't go to the gym and work out your physical body, how do you think your mental is worked out? It's worked out through challenging, reading, research, and learning, being, overcoming obstacles. That's building that muscle. So, ladies and gents, y'all got some work to do now, but it's all good work. It's gonna pay. It's going to pay in dividends, right?
Absolutely.
It's going to be a great return on your investment to invest in yourself. You will see it spread out. But any last remarks before we close out? Like the benediction? Because we've been preaching.
No, I think this has really been, something a good topic to be thinking about. And I feel like you said, like, just that reminder, that constant reminder of the mind, what we're thinking, what we're speaking, and taking that self-evaluation time to like what have I agreed to, because sometimes we can agree to things that we don't even know, hey, we've subconsciously made an agreement. And now our subconscious is being the magnet to the manifestation of these things,
That is you just spoke a word there.
Yeah, so I feel like my takeaway is really to be like, okay, well, let me look at all the agreements that I made. Let me write some things down. Journaling always.
Yeah, journaling is
for me
very good.
is just always helps me to like reflect and see, what am I thinking? Where am I at in this season? And okay, why am I thinking this?
Yeah, good.
The why am I thinking
why.
this?
And keep it. That's the only way to pull back the layers of the onion, right? Is to continuously ask why.
Yeah.
Even in business. Okay, we do it this way. Why? Because we always did it. Why? Yes. Like, people actually will, you will ruffle some feathers if you continuously ask people why, because they don't have the answer. And the answer is because somebody else told you to do it.
Yeah.
And you're standing on an agreement that was never yours. And you pass it on to me, and now you're trying to convince me that I should roll this way, and you can't even definitively tell me why we're doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
This may help somebody, a lot of people, business and all that. Why am I doing what I do? Because there is an agreement, a covenant in place that you are not aware of.
Yes.
And you today can take charge and have a different trajectory.
Yeah.
You can rewrite that agreement.
And let that thing go.
Let it go, boo-boo.
Absolutely. Constantly not being conscious and not putting these things on the back burner.
Yeah.
And just like even today was good for me, because it brought a lot of these things to the forefront. And to the front burner. So we can think about it, and you can constantly be changing and rewriting your covenant with yourself. And
Absolutely.
they change because we're constantly changing.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You are the author of your life. If your story is going off the rails, you have that's why a pencil has an eraser.
Yep.
You can go over there, erase it, and rewrite it. Or if you wrote it in a Sharpie, so it's permanent ink because it's done, it's in your history, and you can turn a page and write anew. So get to working on making some amendments to those agreements. That's all I have. I just hope you all choose that you know better. I hope you choose to do better and be better. So until next time. Let me remind you, if you have not already taken up residency on the block, please hit that subscribe button and join the community. We hope today's conversation has been helpful and valuable to you, and that you will please share it as well and like this video. Until next time, I'm your girl, your host, and favorite author, Ellis. Best of life to you all. Peace.